All right, guys, it is Tuesday evening, November 11th. This has been a Veterans Day. Hope you guys have had a great day. And I'm just coming in just for a moment with just a live from a CBS post here. And I know I said that we don't do Santa trackers around here, and we don't do live on the Senate floor votes from C-SPAN either. But in this case, I am going to show you where we are in terms of this government shutdown based on the powers that be over at CBS News this evening. So, with that said, so according to this is the government shutdown live updates as funding bill moves to the House after Senate passes. Hi, it's Simone Watchman. Thank you so much for coming in and loving on that like button. So let me go ahead and just show you. I'm already breaking code, right? I'm already breaking code. So I'm going to zoom this in for you so that you can see that according to this, that the government shut down in days, hours, minutes, and seconds. So according to this, oh, congratulations, you made it. Welcome in. Thanks so much for coming in. So as you can see, I want you to be able to see this is as close to a tracker that you're gonna get. This is your shutdown clock. Okay, your days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Okay. All right. So according to that, this is day 41, hour 20, 41 minutes, and 41 seconds as of right now. Thank you guys so much for coming in. So let me go ahead and give you the skinny here. I'm not gonna take a long time. I'm gonna get you in and out. Nobody gets hurt, right? Okay, so according to this, what to know on day 42. Day 42 of the government shutdown. Good evening, Latressa Montgomery 7932. Great to see you and good evening to you. All right, so according to this, the funding bill that would end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history is headed to the House for a final vote as soon as, okay, you got to keep you guys hanging on here. Got to take you to the edge, right? As soon as Wednesday after the Senate approved it in a 60-40 vote on Monday, bringing Congress one step, you get it, one step closer to ending the impasse. Okay, so according to this, Speaker Mike Johnson told members on Monday to start returning as soon as possible in anticipation of travel delays that have snarled airports across the country. Neither chamber is in session Tuesday due to the Veterans Day holiday. So today you got a nothing burger, okay? A nothing burger. Okay. So the final legislation extends funding for most agencies until January 20th, while including 3 full-year funding bills for some parts of the government. House Republicans are confident that the package will clear the lower chamber. President Trump is expected to sign it, at which point the shutdown would end. So, see, I've already said this. A lot of people have already said, oh, it's over, it's over, but you still have 2 pieces to go. You can't leave out those 2 pieces, there again, but I think they rely on the common man to not know these things, okay? Like I said, I'm not going to do a version of Schoolhouse Rock here. I'm not going to do that to you either. But, okay, and finally with this, the last point here says the airlines were expected to cancel 6% of their flights at 40 of the busiest airports in the U.S. on Tuesday to comply with an order from the Federal Aviation Administration, an increase from earlier 4% in the cutbacks. Okay, so we still have other updates coming in. Chip Roy, okay, says he's unaware of any opposition to the Senate deal from the House Freedom Caucus. So they're just taking you to the edge to the very end of the situation. I think people should proceed with caution. They could throw, dare I say, a monkey wrench in there, or it could be a wild card in there, and then this thing continues. I think they've already got a lot of preemptive measures. They got too many preemptive measures already on the table or on the books for it to be as a smooth sailing. Okay, let me read a couple comments here. I don't know. Do you care? David Salyers 234. Do you care? What do you care about? You care enough to be here to ask who cares. I don't know. Why don't you tell us? Fred Chambers says 7030. If you are enjoying the stream, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Fred Chambers 7030. He says, I have a question. Go for it, Fred Chambers. Go for it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming in and loving on the like button. Please, it doesn't really cost that much. It's just kind of you gotta touch it twice. That's the way it works. I'm not in charge of that, but that's just the way it works. I appreciate you guys so much. So yeah, so I'll just keep going here. Fred Chambers 7030 says he has a question. But this is, like I said, it's not the Santa tracker, but it's the government shutdown, counter right here. So as you can see, they tell you this is what you should know on day 42, but this is actually your counter right here. Okay, so who knows? You guys might be looking towards the end of the week to see what this actually, how this thing actually pans out. I did see somewhat of a touching story in which I think maybe it was a CRO that was checking on a soldier, and on this Veterans Day, in which many of them have not been paid, and so I don't know. I saw a little bit of a touching story in which maybe I guess the CRO was going to go out and at least purchase. She heard of one of her soldiers having like maybe $3 or something to her name, and so she decided she'd go out and get at least get a gift card or something. I mean, it's just I guess it's just the small things that you can do in times like this, and I don't know. There might be something like that going on in your neck of the woods. You don't have to be. I guess you don't have to be a part of the military to lend a hand or to help out wherever you can, but I think it was a generous thing to do. Just think about others when you can, where you can. You never know; it can make a difference. It might be the thing that gets the person through the day or the evening or the rest of the day, or that bridges them over. Just I guess acts of kindness or just goodwill. Let's see. Fred Chambers says, what do I think about running for the president of the United States? No, that's not my thing. No. See, that's the thing. That's the thing about that. The actual running for the president, running for the presidency. Yeah, but who actually does the running of the actual country, to me, would be more the question. I mean, I find all those things kind of questionable, just based on the way things are. I mean, who's really in charge? Yeah. So I'll just give you this last little piece here. So according to this piece from CBS News, was that Chip Roy says he's unaware of any opposition to Senate deal from the House Freedom Caucus. And it says Rep. Chip Roy of Texas, the member of House Freedom Caucus who sits on the Rules Committee, said he's unaware of any opposition of significance to the Senate passed bill from members of the conservative group. Roy said he plans to vote for the bill and predicted the House Rules meeting could last 3 or 4 hours. Okay, so here's my last piece on this. There's also something you guys might find interesting in this whole situation, that allegedly there is talk of more funding for, there's talk of some extra funding in this bill for security for our beloved politicians. So that's the piece that I kind of wanted to talk about just a little bit. So they've managed to come up with some extra funds for security in this particular bill. So in this package, let's just say it's in the package. Okay, so he says first African American woman, black person. Yeah, no, I'm not a symbolism person. That none of that means anything to me. No. I don't do anything with first and then no. No. I mean, yeah, symbolism doesn't do anything for me. And to me, I don't know. This is just not. That's not my. I'm not here to. I'm not here to do politics. Okay, I'm not. I'm not a dialectic person. I'm not a left. I'm not a right. So I wouldn't be. That wouldn't make me a good candidate for that. I wouldn't be a candidate for that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a power hungry. I'm not a person that's out here trying to. I don't think that that's not my. I don't really think that that's a whole nother ilk. Um, yeah, yeah, that's not my thing. No, I don't. I That office is. I just think it's more of an illusion. It's not. There's too many illusions, okay, and then there's just and then yeah, I'm not one of these people that's going to be out here that's rah rah. Oh, women should be doing this and women should be doing that. You know, everybody has to do what speaks to them. That's what you need. That's what you should be doing. But symbolisms and yeah, I'm not. That's not my deal. I don't do those kinds of uh yeah, I'm not a part of that kind of culture. No. And to me that's more like a to me that's more fraternal anyway. It's yeah, it's a different kind of it's kind of a club, whether people want to believe it or not. You know, there's enough evidence that it is. But what I also wanted to say, I had this piece that there's talk that there's funding in some of this package for more security for politicians. I find that to be pretty humorous actually. But I'm not. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. Um, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that they would put oh, they want more security. They want more security. So I don't know. They probably, you know, they might be getting heckled a little bit, you know, for I don't know. But, you know, I'm just saying. But I did find that piece and all of a sudden I lost it. Okay, so more security for politicians and the reopening of the government. Okay, so yeah, that came out. Um I think there's a the House members to get more funding for protection. I think that's something that they may have even proposed earlier this year. But I think it's actually something they're going to try to drive through. Eric uh Eric Woodland C2X. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. I'm not sure if you're new to the channel or not, but welcome in. I appreciate you guys for loving on the like button. And LaTresta Montgomery says you can. You are 1000% more qualified. Yeah, I'm picking up what you guys are putting down. I am. You know, I just. I don't want to. I don't want to be the ruler of anybody. I don't. I don't want to be anybody's ruler. I'm not. You know, I think I can. I think I can use my try to use my whatever in other places and other ways. Um, yeah, I'm all about servant leadership, but not in that vein. No, I'm all about. I mean, I've done servant leadership, and I'm probably always going to do it, but no, not politics. No, no thanks. Let's see. The Senate sent a funding bill to the House, but okay, but I'm wanting to find out where in this bill are they looking for more protection, security for these congressmen and representatives. Just yeah, I'm looking for Eric Woodland C2X says that's why we need people like you. Well, you know, I just think that, you know, as long as we get things done, I'm not yeah, it just depends on what you're working in, what you're working with, and what you're doing. Sometimes it's hard to do. Sometimes it's hard to do. So yeah, I'm trying to see what else is here. It says, who are the lawmakers to watch? I'm just trying to, I had this piece for you guys, but yeah, I do think it's interesting that they would be requesting more security. Um, but I would imagine that they're probably on the front lines getting, but here again, these people don't live, these politicians don't live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not convinced that they do. Um, a lot of people have expressed, oh, it's disgusting that, they're still getting paid, and our military service women and men are not getting paid. And but I'm just thinking most of these people are not, you know, they might go in there in one way, but I seriously doubt that they're not able to keep themselves afloat during a government shutdown. That's just, to me, that's just not reality. It's just like almost more that's whole the illusion of all of this. Once so you got to, in order to, it's just you're just scratching the surface if you realize that, um, that these people are well off. They're practically, to me, they are the royalty of the United States. What is it, like 523, something between 523, 530, 532 uh members between the House and the Senate. They are well taken care of. I think in many cases, I've said this on a previous stream, I think that they probably actually have, at least they have more than one residence. Let's see. Fred Chambers 7030 said, they see what I see. LaTressa Montgomery 7932 says they are giving the trenches a whole new meaning. There you go. There you go. But yeah, I just, servant leadership, you can do that in many roles. You can get to servant leadership in many roles. You can get to it in, I don't know whether you want to get to it in education, whether you want to get to it in some type of management or business management, or I don't know, if you're in the military, in the armed services, you can be of service and be in a leadership position. But um the common man is not going to be come on, guys. Common man's not going to get to that, is not going to get to that type of position at all. I'm not convinced that they would. And for me, that's definitely not an ilk for me, without a doubt. Let's see. Yeah, but I'm just wondering, I mean, but there's millions of dollars that they want to, what's in the funding package? Okay, so here it is. The broader legislative package would include three full-year appropriation bills that deal with military construction and Veterans Affairs, the legislative branch, and the Department of Agriculture. That includes $203.5 million in new funding to enhance security measures and protections for members of Congress. Did you guys hear that? 200.3 $203.5 million in new funding to enhance security measures and protection for members of Congress, in addition to an $852 million for U.S. Capitol Police, per a summary of the bill to fund the legislative branch provided by top Democratic appropriator Senator Patty Murray. So there you go, guys. There you go. So they've got, I guess, an appropriation of $203.5 million for more security. Isn't that interesting? Because some of those same people are very, they say they're anti, 2A, but they need more security, right? They need $203.5 million of security so that they can be protected, but they don't mind lobbying and rallying against you, the common man, from being able to either protect yourself. And it's all very interesting. American Defender 6884, no mention of funding going towards our homeless. No, I don't see that. I haven't quite. Typically, I go through a lot of bills when I can. I go through the sites, but not on this one. I don't see, I just see that extra funding that's on here. And maybe something, I mean, something they want to enhance, extend the expiring, they're not guaranteed the expiring, to extend the expiring enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies. So there you go with that. Let me just read this just a second. Um, America, the Latressa says, so guess they are changing the meaning of security too. Probably. And thank you guys so much for coming in and loving on the like button. I love that. Thank you. John Golf Dash Q1J says, wait, so they need more protection, but Trump putting out the National Guard to protect Americans is an issue. Guys, I'm telling you, this thing just gets wonkier by the second. Hi, Flying Guillotine 22, as well as DJD Ray. How are you guys? Thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate you guys. If you can love on that like button, I appreciate you guys coming in on this. What is this? This is a Veterans Day evening, and loving on the like button. I appreciate that. So yeah, so they always figure out how to sweeten the pot for themselves, right? $203.5 million for enhanced security measures. Well, what kind of measures will you think that will what kind of enhancement will that entail? Can you guys guess? Are they going to have AIs added to their security in some way? Are they going to have trackers? Or I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, will they have a will it be like the new building? Eventually what they'll end up, you'll have all kinds of surveillance, right? Even for the for DC and people coming in and visiting. Thank you guys for loving on that like button. Very lovely on this Veterans Day evening. I appreciate it, guys. So yeah, so those are the things to watch for. So just for kicks, I said we won't have a Santa tracker and we won't do the C-SPAN tracker, but I do have the actual government shutdown counter tracker right here for you. Derek C. Williams is here. Derek C. Williams, I appreciate you so much for coming in. Can you see we're at day it's so of course, because it's Veterans Day, they're not actually doing anything. So guys, technically the government is still not open. So whoa Nelly. 41 days, 21 hours, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. That's where you are. That's where you are. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming in here, loving on that like button. Derek C. Williams says he's got some fine spirits, drinking spirits for the Veterans Day for free. Good for you, Derek C. Williams. There you go. Shout out to the veterans that are in the chat. If you know a veteran, if you got veteran parents, shout out to them. The appreciation, it might look a little better for our, for our active duty servicemen and women, but here again, what can we do? Flying Guillotine is in the house. Let me make sure I say hi to everybody. Thank you guys so much for loving on that like button. It makes a difference. It really does. Derek C. Williams says the spirits and a free entree. If it's free, it's for me. Look at you. Derek. Oh my gosh. I knew, you'll get the goodies. It seems like I saw some things on social media regarding that today. So I don't know. Maybe they should have just provided. Maybe they should just. Maybe they needed to just create. Maybe they should just create some GoFundMe's. For the veterans and for the active duty. Maybe they need an active duty day. Maybe that's what they need. In times like this, maybe they just need to create a GoFundMe, and pass some of those funds on to the families. I mean, what can we do? The common man, we have to band together, right? It says American Defender 6884, Trump Group 42, Artificial Intelligence. Latressa Montgomery 7932 says, where can I sign up? It sounds like the only place to get some for sure work. What else do we have? John Golf Q1J says, I have a golf tournament for veterans this weekend. Okay, fun. Fun, fun, fun. So yeah, guys, so just keep your head, I guess, on a swivel. I guess we'll see what happens because this is a two-step process. I would imagine that this thing, they keep taking you to the edge about this, even though today is a holiday, and so technically nobody's actually working today. And then, you still have those two steps. And then if at luck, if it's to be done, it would be done by the end of the week, because tomorrow's Wednesday, and then you have Thursday, and then of course you have Friday. So I don't know. I'm just saying that, we talked about this a little bit earlier. A lot of people have already been lulled back to sleep on this thing, and which is a dangerous part. And I would imagine for the powers that be that say, hey, that didn't take long. All we have to do is take them to the edge and give them hope that we're going to set this thing back up again, get them going again. And then, but then for how long? What is it, January 30th? Was it January 30th that they've got that this funding bill is to go, and then they're going to be back at it again? I mean, I honestly, and then there's 3 years of funding bills for some parts of the government. Okay. And then I'm hearing, allegedly, according to the media hacks, saying that Trump is, I did hear something, Sean Duffy get on and kind of do a soft rebuke about ATC call outs or whatnot. Say, I don't know. So step it up with your unions, ATC. John Roberts, Monopoly Money, he comes in. Derek C. Williams says, no woman president forthcoming. There you go. Not from here. Black Screen with Autumn is not running for any form of president. Fred Chambers 7030 says, do I think the United States is ready for a woman president? I mean, you gotta, listen, I don't know about that. I don't know if America thinks like that. I really don't. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in here and loving on that like button. I see we're showing that there's 10 people in here, but then we've got 9 likes. So maybe we can look at it now. It's making it make sense. We got 10 for 10 right about now. I feel like a game show host, talking about the numbers, running the numbers. I go from running the numbers here, and then I brought you guys. So look, just here it is. Here it is. This comes from your CBS. I said we don't do Santa trackers and we don't do C-SPAN floor trackers, but this is for day 41, and you're at days 41, 21 hours, 7 minutes, and 27 seconds. So hang on in there, and then also remember that they're going to propose in this package. They're proposing $203.5 million in new funding to enhance security measures and protection for members of Congress, in addition to $852 million for U.S. Capitol Police, per a summary of the bill, to fund the legislative branch provided by top Democratic appropriator Senator Patty Murray. So you see what you get there, okay? Let's see who else is here. So they need all the security, right? I appreciate you guys so much for loving on that like button. So now it's showing 13 people in this stream. So all I was just giving you today was just a little bit of what you need to know. The government shutdown live updates as the funding bill moves to the House after Senate passage. So I probably imagine maybe you might hear something tomorrow. Yeah, you might hear something tomorrow about the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. I guess it just depends. I don't know what, it's a game, right? But just be careful that you don't get yourselves lulled back to sleep, because some people have already, they've already gone back to sleep, and this thing is still it's not over, okay? It's not. I'm not sure that it's ever really over. It seems like there's a song was there a song called It's Nothing? I think, what was it? Katy Perry. She said nothing's never really over. Is that what the lyrics were? So yeah, yeah, no, no, not in this situation. No, this is just a little pendulum that we're dealing with. We're just dealing with it going back and forth. That's about it. Let's see. Derek C. Williams says the country is hot with the country is hot fire with politicians. Smart on them. It's well known that bureaucrats get robbed heavy in D.C. They're always caught lacking. Oh my gosh, it's Mindy A. Stone. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you guys so much again for coming in and loving on your like button on the. We got 11:11 right now in this live stream, and Fred Chambers 7030. If you are new to the channel, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you. You're coming. You're doing a lot of duties. You're doing a lot of duties, Fred Chambers 7030. You are appreciated. And then Latressa Montgomery 7932 comes in. She says, when is the $2,000 check going to be mailed? You know what, Latressa? Some people are still looking for that Doge check from March. What was it? March, $5,000. So I guess if you get the Doge, if you can get your Doge check and the $2,000 tariff check, and I don't know what's that with the rate of things the way that it is. What does that actually come out to be? I appreciate you guys for humoring me and coming in here and loving on the like button. It means a lot on this Veterans Day. I really appreciate it, and we'll see what's happening. I don't know. I guess I'll keep my ear to the grind for ATC, for air traffic control. We'll see what's going on there. I mean, penalizing those guys, I think they're trying to do some type of back pay kind of a deal, but they said that was at like 70%. So I don't know if you could do something for a veteran or an active duty person right about now. I don't know. A hot meal, a gift card. There's all kinds of stories going on right now. So Derek C. Williams says, Derek is hurting. That $2,000 would be nice. Well, I'm picking up what you're putting down, Derek. So we'll see. I think they're already talking about the legalities, the legal hurdles on that. Latressa Montgomery 7932 says salute to all the veterans, and let's see. I really appreciate it. DCW, how can I get? Okay, so guys, also I'll tell you that I'm not sure. I was looking into the whole Substack platform. There's some interesting things on there, I gotta tell you. I actually to me it looks like I like what's going on with Substack like even more than I do what goes on X. So we'll see, guys, but keep loving on that like button, and we're gonna get out of here just shortly. Derek C. Williams says that the last rebate check Americans received was from a Republican back in like 2007, I believe. Let's see. Flying Guillotine 22 says, I'm going to give Trump a pass if he comes through. We go ahead. Mindy A. Stone says, with our luck, it will something like a quote tax credit end quote that most of us can't use or won't qualify for. I'll believe it when I see it. Touche. Touche, Mendea Stone. Chicken Strangler 3826 says Hillary Clinton 2028. Yikes. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, so Mindy A. Stone, you're on to a point there. I think that their idea of a dividend, I think that definition can only get broader. Okay, so I thank you guys so much for coming in and loving on the like button. A chicken Strangler 3826. But yeah, I think that they're going to explore even more possibilities on this $2,000 dividend. I don't even know, but servant leadership. But I'm not a candidate for that. I'm not a candidate for any of these political hacks. Flying Guillotine says that little $300 check Trump might give over 2 racks. Derek C. Williams. Oh gosh, thank you guys so much for loving on the like button. Derek C. Williams says, Clinton in 2028, good luck. She didn't do anything the first time around. Well, the other thing is, wow, you guys are really taking us back. You're taking me back to 2015. Chicken Strangler says, oh, you think a Gavin Newsom run? I would probably when I'd vote for him. I don't know. Are you talking? Is it $1,000? Is that what it is? Hey, I look. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I think I just realized that is that a ban? Is that a ban? Like, if somebody says a couple of bands, see, this is why. Why do I need to go back to school again when I get a real education from you guys around here? Why do I need to do that? A band is. Hey, I just learned that today. I just learned that today. So, I don't know. I'd never heard a rack. I had never heard a rack, but okay, I got it. Picking up what you're putting down. Derek C. Williams says it's called a stack. Hey, you guys are cracking the code and leveling me up and everything around here. So I appreciate you guys for loving on that like button. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. Gavin Newsom. I don't even know. California's got its own. We call him Noodles. Gavin Noodles Newsom. Convos with Cam. She says we back at it. Thank you so much. Same to you. Convos with Cam. We're just in here talking about just chatty, doing it up a little bit about. I thought the irony that they want that in this package, in this funding bill that they're proposing, that they want $203.5 million to enhance the security measures and protection for the members of Congress. Okay, so here we go. Yes, I'm breaking out of it. So where was I? Okay, so here we go. All right, so here, this is where you are, friends. Maybe I need to, yikes. All right, guys, I'm losing control here. Not totally, but close enough. All right, so here we go. I didn't lose it. But here's the thing. I appreciate it. So if I don't lose it for me. Okay, so here it is. Maybe this is a little better scale. Okay, so here we are. We're at day 41, 21 hours, 17 minutes, and 28 seconds. So just make sure that you know when somebody says, oh, the government's open again. No. This is CBS, what you need to know. They're closed today. Maybe they're going to open up again tomorrow. All right, so look at you guys loving on that like button. Let's see. What is it? Bet Callie Garcia say, goodness, I was thinking of you just a few days ago. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And thank you for loving on the like button. Chicken Strangler 3826 says, what's your thoughts on Nick Fuentes gaining mainstream popularity in the Republican Party? I don't know. I just think that the Republicans, I don't want to say that it's kind of they all have that they kind of, they kind of grift along. I really just don't, I just don't really, whether you have it's Candace or whether you have the late Charlie Kirk or, I think these people just kind of, they have a role. They're part of the rhetoric. They're part of the narrative. They just kind of come. There's a season for them all. So I just, if it's his season, it's his season. If he makes it, he'll make it. Let's see. Let's go. Flying Guillotine says Nick Fuentes is a clown. What? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. That guy seems like a little bit pompous for me. I don't know, but I think he's probably on his own. He's got his own grift going on. Probably. They all do, I think they all do. So Derek C. Williams says, we don't need the likes of Commie Nick. We've got enough devil spawn to contend with every day. Right on. I'm there with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's see. Derek C. Williams says Nick Fuentes, good luck. Too many mainstream and conservative Republicans ain't trying to hear him. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I think maybe Yeah, I just honestly, there's just so many side little narratives going on since, and it all came after, uh, the post Charlie Kirk situation. But like I said, they all have their own season, and I put Candace Owens in that same bit. You know, whether she's speaking 10% truth, a little bit of truth, mixed with a little, you know, what no matter what it is, they've all got their roles. Let's see. Oh wow, thank you so much. Let's see. Convos with Cam says, be sure to share the video. Truth is so hard to come by these days. You got that right. I really appreciate it. Convos with Cam. I'm just saying, this is, I'm just thinking, I talked about this earlier about when we have these shutdowns or these crises versus the opportunity, we have to kind of figure out how we're gonna work with it ourselves. What are we gonna get out of it? Are we gonna see this as a crisis or as an opportunity? And what are we gonna do with it until the next one? Because just like, the elites, they plan for the next one. And we have to start doing that too. We actually need some solutions. I don't know. Shout out. I do think we have a new class of 2025 right about now. Class of 2025, 2026. Thank you guys so much for coming in and loving on the like button and burning a whopping 41 minutes and 39 seconds with me. I really appreciate that. So thank you for loving on the like button. But yeah, we were all kind of sitting around before. That's why I say shout out to the class of CV COVID-19. Derek C. Williams, or I say shout out to the class of 2020, because we watched a lot of this unfold, but to me this is not going to be any different. I don't think it is. So if the fighting stops for a little while, if the theater goes on for a little bit longer, and then what? The next phase until June 30th. But are you going to get a $2,000 dividend check? I don't know. I doubt it. Flying Guillotine says, MTG got the best chance. She will give more pushback in the future. Let me see. Hang on a second here. Derek C. Williams. Thank you so much for those of you that shared it out. I'm just saying, if you really want to make a huge impact and just, kind of kick them where it hurts. If you share it out, it really makes a difference. Because they'll starve you out around here on their tube. Shout out to Derek C. Williams, the prolific Derek C. Williams. Derek C. Williams says, on the other hand, it's the system and the way it's constructed is the real problem. Bloods, Crips, Democrats, Republicans, same thing. I love it. I'm loving it. Thank you guys so much. Yes, I am. See, you're making me think of all these tunes. What was it? I'm coming back to life, right? I'm breaking free. Yes, I had to break free of the abuse of the self-censoring. It's a form of emotional abuse. Very much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for loving on the like button. And dare I say, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have breaking news tomorrow. But just remember, they're going to put in they've got some funding for $203.5 million to enhance security measures and protection for members of Congress. Okay, and remember, they still have two steps to go. Like right now, they're kind of making you guys feel like you're on the edge right now. They're taking you to the edge, but they're really not at the edge. So it still has to go. It still has to be voted on with a yes from the House, and then it's got to be signed by Trump. So it's not, to me, things are not quite open. I think for once in their lives, I think on CBS News, I think they are giving you the most real time closer to the truth than they've been, right? And so here I'm showing you that 41 days, 21 hours, 24 minutes, and 30 and 40 seconds. All right, guys, please drop your links in the stream. Convos with Cam, if you're still in here. Please drop your link. I really appreciate your support. Latressa Montgomery, Mindy A. Stone, if you want to drop your link, you guys have the free will to do that. Please drop your links in here. Latressa Montgomery 7932. Is it Latressa or Latresa? I don't want to get that wrong. Derek C. Williams, of course. And then, of course, Flying Guillotine 22. Betty Callie Garcia. Feel free to drop your link. You guys have been really engaging in here, and I appreciate it. Chicken Strangler 3826. And who else? Did I miss anybody else? We've got John Roberts is here. John Roberts came in and he said, are people starving by the millions yet? Let's see. Fred Chambers 7030. He's been doing a lot with inspiring people to love on that like button. So that's putting in work. John Golf Q1J. Sorry about that, guys. And American Defender 6884. And I think that's going to wrap it up. I think we had Eric Woodland C2X. And yeah, David Slayer 23234. I don't know. He want to know who cares. I want him to tell me who cares. What do you care about? And Watchman, of course. Thank you so much, Simone Watchman, and everybody for coming in and for loving on the like button. I really appreciate it. Derek C. Williams says, perfect. Derek C. Williams says, Trump is rolling with Pfizer, hosting terrorists at the White House, promoting weight loss supplements with animal toxins. Not good. I would say, what is it, that Gila monster? That venom from the Gila monster, I think, is where the GLP-1s and the Wegovy was inspired by that. So I really appreciate you guys so much. Keep loving on the like button. Keep liking and sharing and subscribing. And, one day I'll get a rhythm to get that share in there. I appreciate you guys so much. And if anybody else is going live, let me know. Let me know, if you guys are going live within the next few minutes or so, or we'll see you later for sure. Mindy S. Stone says, it angers me that while we're out here doing without, Congress still gets paid. Grrr. I gotcha. And Eric Woodland C2X says, night, love, peace, and a hair grease. There you go. And Derek C. Williams says, anglerfish and shellfish toxins are in Ozempic. Woo. That'll shut you down, especially if you have allergies. Yikes. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of this week, because tomorrow is going to feel like a Monday. If we didn't have Monday on Monday, we'd have to start Monday someplace. But it looks like we start, well, at least it's Monday part 2 tomorrow. Derek C. Williams' message, never let yourself go to the point that you have to use that mess or radical surf. Oh, you got that right. You got that right. We could all, as they say, tighten up. Okay, tighten up around here. All right, guys. Have a great night, and thanks for supporting.